Hey, coin collectors and history buffs! Welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the stories and values behind America's most iconic coins. Today, we're exploring the top 4 Jefferson nickels, coins that hold incredible historical significance and surprising value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, you'll want to stick around for this one. First up, the 1958 Jefferson nickel was minted during a period of relative peace and prosperity in America, shortly after the Korean War and during the post-World War II economic boom. Unlike some earlier or later nickels, the 1958 version was made with the standard composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This means it does not contain any silver, like the wartime nickels from the early 1940s. When it comes to mintage, the 1958 nickel was produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia mint did not use a mint mark on nickels until 1968, so the Philadelphia coins simply have the date on the obverse. The Denver mint coins feature a small D mint mark located to the right of Monticello on the reverse side. In 1958, the Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 176 million nickels, while the Denver Mint produced around 50 million. This makes the Denver Mint 1958 nickel a bit scarcer compared to its Philadelphia counterpart, though both are still considered relatively common in circulated condition. In terms of value, a 1958 Jefferson nickel in fine condition will typically range from about 20 cents to $1, depending on the specific grade and eye appeal. Fine condition means the coin shows moderate wear, but all major details are visible and clear, including the outline of Jefferson's profile and the architectural details of Monticello. It will show some flattening of high points, but no major damage or corrosion. For collectors, coins in this condition are common and affordable, often serving as solid entry points for those beginning a Jefferson nickel collection. If the coin is in higher grades like very fine, extra fine, or uncirculated, the value can increase significantly. Uncirculated 1958 nickels with full mint luster and no noticeable contact marks can be worth around $5 to $15 or more, depending on the exact grading. Coins graded by professional services, like PCGS or NGC, will typically fetch higher prices due to the guaranteed authenticity and condition. Another interesting detail about the 1958 Jefferson nickel is that it is part of the third design period for Jefferson nickels. The original design was slightly modified during the early 1940s for wartime production, then returned to the original style after the war. The 1958 nickel carries the traditional design without any major variations, making it representative of classic Jefferson nickels minted during the 1950s. It's worth noting that there are no known major errors or rare varieties for the 1958 nickel, which means the value mostly depends on condition and mint mark. However, coin enthusiasts still appreciate the 1958 nickel for its historical significance and its place within the long Jefferson nickel series, which continues to this day with updated designs. For those interested in collecting or investing, it's always a good idea to look for coins with clear, strong strikes and minimal surface wear. Cleaning a nickel can damage its value, so always handle coins carefully and consider professional grading if you believe your coin is in particularly good condition. Next up, the Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with his famous Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. The design you see on the 2011 P nickel is part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, which has seen a few design changes over the years, but generally remains faithful to the original concept created by Felix Schlag. The 2011 P Jefferson nickel was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the P mint mark on the coin. This particular year is notable because it was part of a special series called the Westward Journey Nickel Series, which ran from 2004 through 2006. But by 2011, the design had returned to the classic Monticello reverse. In 2011, the Philadelphia Mint produced a very large number of Jefferson nickels, with mintages totaling over 696 million coins. This high mintage means that the 2011 P nickel is quite common in circulation today, and finding one in average condition is easy. Regarding the coin's composition, the 2011 nickel continues to use the standard copper-nickel clad, 75% copper and 25% nickel, the same formula used since 1946, except for the World War II. War nickels, which had silver content. When it comes to value, the 2011 P. Jefferson nickel is generally worth face value, that is, 5 cents, when found in circulated condition. Because of its massive production and the lack of rare varieties or errors for this year, it does not carry a premium in everyday condition. However, uncirculated or proof versions of the 2011 P. Jefferson nickel can be worth a bit more to collectors. For example, an uncirculated 2011 P nickel in pristine condition, such as one graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services, might sell for around $1 to $3. Proof coins, which are specially made for collectors with a mirrored finish and sharp details, can command slightly higher prices depending on the set or packaging they come in. One thing to note about modern nickels like the 2011 P is that while they may not be rare, their role as everyday currency means they're a great way to start or expand a Jefferson nickel collection without breaking the bank. Collectors often look for coins with full luster, sharp strike, and no surface marks, which can add value beyond the coin's face value. In summary, the 2011 P. Jefferson nickel is a plentiful, classic example of America's long-standing nickel tradition. While it's usually only worth its face value in circulated condition, uncirculated and proof versions do have some modest collectible value. Its enduring design honors Thomas Jefferson and his legacy, continuing a story that's been told on nickels for more than 80 years. Next up, the Jefferson nickel design has been a staple of American coinage since 1938, featuring the profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. The design, created by Felix Schlag, has seen only a few changes over the decades, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The 1971 Jefferson nickel was minted at 2 locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia mint coins do not carry a mint mark, while Denver minted nickels feature a small D mint mark to the right of Monticello on the reverse side. In 1971, the United States was in the midst of the Vietnam War era, and coin production was stable with no changes to the nickel's composition. The nickel continued to be made from a copper-nickel clad, 75% copper and 25% nickel, a formula that had been in place since 1946. Regarding mintage numbers, the 1971 nickels were produced in very high quantities. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 430 million coins, while the Denver Mint produced more than 280 million. This large production means the 1971 Jefferson nickel is very common and widely available in circulation today. Because of the high mintage and the lack of significant errors or rare varieties, the 1971 nickel is generally worth its face value in circulated condition. Collectors looking for these coins in average condition will usually pay about 5 cents, the coin's face value. However, value increases if the coin is found in higher grades, such as uncirculated condition. A 1971 nickel in mint state condition can be worth anywhere from $1 to $3, depending on the quality, with coins graded MS65 or higher commanding a premium among collectors. There are no well-known major varieties or mint errors for the 1971 nickel, so its collectible interest comes mainly from condition and being part of the Jefferson nickel collection. One interesting note about the 1971 nickel is that it represents the continuation of the classic Monticello reverse design just a few years before the introduction of the Westward Journey series in 2004. This means it's part of the standard Jefferson nickel era, beloved by collectors who appreciate consistency and historical continuity. For anyone interested in collecting or investing, 1971 Jefferson nickels offer a great way to fill out a date set or to collect coins from the Vietnam War era. They are easy to find, affordable, and carry the timeless Jefferson design that has become an American numismatic icon. In summary, the 1971 Jefferson nickel is a common but classic coin with a straightforward value profile, worth face value in circulated grades and a modest premium in uncirculated grades. It holds a steady place in Jefferson nickel history and remains a popular choice among collectors for its enduring design and historical context. Next up, the Jefferson nickel was introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it quickly became one of the most iconic coin designs in U.S. history. The coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag, with Jefferson's Virginia home, Monticello, depicted on the reverse. The 1940 Jefferson nickel carries this original design that would stay in use for many decades. In 1940, the United States was still recovering from the Great Depression and was on the brink of entering World War II. The coin's design and production reflect a period of stability before the major changes that wartime coinage would bring. The 1940 Jefferson nickels were produced at three mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins bear no mint mark. Denver coins have a small D mint mark, and San Francisco coins are marked with an S, both located on the reverse side to the right of Monticello. In terms of mintage, 1940 saw significant production numbers. About 113 million nickels struck at Philadelphia, roughly 49 million at Denver, and around 30 million at San Francisco. These numbers make the 1940 nickel relatively common, though the San Francisco mint coins tend to be scarcer than their Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. Regarding composition, the 1940 Jefferson nickel is made from the standard copper nickel clad, 75% copper and 25% nickel. This was before the introduction of war nickels during 1942 to 1945, which contained silver. When it comes to value, the 1940 Jefferson nickel's worth depends largely on its condition and mint mark. In circulated condition, these coins typically range from 10 to 50 cents, depending on where. The San Francisco mint coins generally carry a small premium due to their lower mintage. For collectors, uncirculated examples of the 1940 nickel can be quite valuable. Coins graded MS-60 mint state may sell for around $5 to $10, while higher-grade specimens with sharp details and full luster can command $20 or more. The rarest and most pristine examples graded MS-65 or above could fetch even higher prices among serious collectors. An important note for collectors is to examine the coin carefully for any damage or cleaning, as these factors greatly affect value. Also, check the mint mark location and clarity, as this confirms the coin's origin and helps establish rarity. There are no widely recognized major errors or varieties from the 1940 Jefferson nickel, making it a straightforward date to collect. However, its historical context, minted just before the United States entered World War II, adds an intangible value for history enthusiasts. In summary, the 1940 Jefferson nickel is a classic example of mid-20th century American coinage. It carries the timeless design of Thomas Jefferson and Monticello, minted in large numbers, but still sought after by collectors for its historical significance and condition-based value. Whether you find one in your change or add it to a collection, it represents a beautiful piece of U.S. history.